I am going to head out on a little excursion today. You know, I like to find the off the beaten path places that are also full of major history and find a grave of a very famous Frenchman that I'm excited to see. And we're also going to stop at a place where the bloody guillotine killed 1,306 people and left bloodshed everywhere.
On s'est connu le temps de plaire aux exigences qu'on s'est créées, mais on s'y perd.
My first stop is going to be what is basically in English now the place of the nation. And you see this very fancy statue. It was put here in memory of the French Revolution. But of course there's no plaques or history about what actually happened in the spot. Well, the famous guillotine, that was what we now call Concord today, where Marie Antoinette and Robespierre and thousands of other people were beheaded. The people during the revolution got tired of the fanatics and radicals just shedding blood all the time, so they moved the guillotine here, which is where the nation train stop is. But the blood shedding did not end. They passed a law during the French Revolution that you could not live in a religious community. Well, who does that? Nuns. It's what they know. So they actually took 16 nuns and brought them here to this spot and beheaded them. 16 nuns. In total, 1,306 people were beheaded right here. No sign of anything. Let's forget it happened, but we'll have a great memorial of our wonderful revolution. And then there's a church that I'm going to go find, or a cemetery I should say, Picpus Cemetery, where the bodies were put onto a cart here and rolled and dumped in what is a mass grave. Crazy, huh? People walk here now and think it's just a beautiful park. Really cool woke teenagers hang out over here thinking they're the thing, they're the bomb, they're the whatever. But yeah, right here, 1,306 people got beheaded. Now we're gonna go find the cemetery. But the main reason I'm going there is for a very famous Frenchman. So I found the cemetery, and when you come look for this building here, you'll see number 35 up here, and ring this bell, and that will let you in. How cool is this? The Daughters of the American Revolution actually have plaques here for Lafayette from the Benjamin Franklin chapter. See this blue door? Once they had their heads cut off, they put them in a cart, rolled them to this cemetery, and put them in what is now over here known as the mass grave. You'll also see a plaque here for the nuns that I mentioned. It's crazy, just this location, the guillotine beheaded 1,306 people. That's just in this location. Wow. The Picpus Cemetery here, pretty amazing. Very moving, and a very quiet spot of Paris that nobody really knows about. This is what I came for, a tomb of a Frenchman. Who was born into aristocracy, lost his parents at a young age, but he still grew up at Versailles. He rubbed shoulders with King George of England, King Louis of France, but he wanted more out of life. And he heard what was happening in those colonies over in America. They wanted to break from the British crown. I mean, wow, are they crazy? You want to take on the most powerful army in the world and have independence? A guy named Thomas Jefferson was writing the Declaration of Independence. He found it fascinating. So as a young man, he went to America. His living family was not happy with him. He met George Washington, and at first George thought he was this arrogant, pompous Frenchman, but he realized pretty soon that he was very courageous, and he actually wanted to fight for them, and he was genuine. And George never had children, and since Lafayette lost his parents at a young age, George kind of became his surrogate father, and they had a fantastic relationship. And he went on to fight for us in several battles, including Brandywine and Yorktown. He was at Valley Forge. He actually overlooked my 5 times great-grandfather's unit, the 7th Virginia. So it's pretty cool to actually be here at his grave and see the American flag. You have honor marquees from different American regiments. And it's not just the American Revolution. He came back to France. He experienced the first French Revolution. They wanted to do like America, overthrow their monarchy, but it was done very differently. It was very chaotic. Lafayette actually got together with Thomas Jefferson and started writing the French Declaration of Independence, which is basically the rights of all men and citizens. He wanted to abolish slavery, but there was no direction for the French Revolution. It just became radicals killing everybody who blinked or looked the wrong direction. And when the radicals stormed Bastille and released all the prisoners, they put Lafayette in charge of the National Guard to try to bring some kind of authority, try to get this together, but it wasn't happening. And when he saw that they were just killing everybody who was aristocracy, had any kind of wrong colors in their wardrobe, you name it, they put him on the guillotine. So he took off to Austria. His wife, who's also buried here, was taken prisoner. What's really cool to me, I didn't know, is our 5th president, James Monroe, was not president yet, but he was the French ambassador. And his wife actually stepped in and saved Lafayette's wife because they didn't really want to mess with America yet. We were a new country. And so they let her have her wish of having Lafayette's wife released. But what happened to Lafayette over in Austria? Well, he was arrested. Spent 5 years in prison. So what's going on here? The revolution's not going well. Napoleon takes over, pretty much becomes a dictator. Kind of defeats the purpose of having a revolution. But Napoleon had Lafayette released. But Lafayette refused to work under Napoleon because, once again, he wanted something like America. So once again, we start another revolution in France. And he finally got to see his dream come true, where at the time, France still had a monarchy, but the people had a voice, kind of like Britain today. So he experienced the American Revolution and 2 French revolutions. Not a lot of people get to see that and live it, but here he is.
Aux exigences qu'on s'est créées, mais on s'y fait. Tu n'es qu'à quelques kilomètres.